Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Jonathan, your host here at QuickBird Gaming, and thank you so much for joining me for another video. In this video, we're going back to Collections 101, where we walk through finding the collectibles in some of our favorite games. Today we're returning to Fallout 4 and looking at another set of skill magazines. In this case, it's Grognak the Barbarian. Now, this 10-issue set is a 10-issue set, each of which gives you plus 5% critical damage bonus to attacks with melee weapons. So having all 10 would give you a plus 50% damage bonus to your criticals with melee weapons. I like these books mostly because I am a fantasy fan, and just as a side plug, please remember that in addition to being a YouTuber, I'm also a fantasy author. There's a link to my books in the channel description. And being a fantasy fan, these books are very reminiscent of the 1970s Marvel Comics Conan the Barbarian series by Roy Thomas and Barry Windsor Smith. The artwork is very similar, and I like that style. As far as the perks go, I'm not a big fan of these books, mostly because I don't do a lot of melee or unarmed type builds. But if you do, these are definitely worth picking up, as a 50% crit damage bonus can be huge. Most of the books are pretty easy to get, so there is that too. Because the numbering system in this game on the skill magazines is so chaotic and random, some magazines don't have numbers at all or they're ripped off. There are some numbers that are duplicated in a set. Because of that, I'm going to be covering them in the order they appear in the game's editing files. But don't worry, all 10 of them are here. Okay, so without further ado, let's count them down. Okay, up front on this one, I'm going to apologize for the crappy motion capture. This was one of the first ones I did, and it didn't come out well. The first issue of Grognak we're going to talk about is called Blood on the Harp. It's found at the Wicked Shipping Fleet Lockup, south of Sanctuary, in one of the main offices. Resistance here is minimal. A couple of feral ghouls. Ghouls. Just run in there. Once you've killed them, run in the office and grab it.
Bingo.
The second issue we'll discuss is titled Cometh the Trickster, and it is found in this wrecked building to the south and east of downtown Boston. The location's unmarked. You can see I'm showing where it is, a little northwest of the South Boston Police Dept. There is no fixed resistance in this specific area, though there are super mutants nearby, and when I came through this time, they were duking it out with the Brotherhood, so just kind of beware of that. I'm showing where it is relative to the bridge. Anyway, it's up on the 3rd floor.
There we go.
The third issue of Grognak is found at Sanctuary, and it is sitting right on the counter of the player's ruined home, where it was in the days before the war. And this is probably the first skill magazine most players will find on leaving the vault. It's entitled Jungle of the Bat Babies, which a player can comment on if they look at it in the prologue before going into the vault. And now, aside from its bonus, it's just a sad reminder of everything the player lost.
Perfect.
The fourth issue is found at the Corvega assembly plant near Lexington. It's titled In the Bosom of the Corsair Queen and features a appropriately endowed cover model to go along with it. It's up on the top floor of the assembly plant. This place is full of raiders, but nothing you can't handle.
Yes.
The fifth issue of Grognak the Barbarian is titled Demon Sands, Demon Slaves. It's found in Vault 75 under Malden Middle School in the north central part of the map. It's in the Overseer's office. Look, I'll be honest, I wouldn't come down here to get this. Vault 75 has a really cool backstory. The lore in the terminals tells an interesting tragic tale, but the vault itself is kind of a nightmare. It's a maze, it's full of gunners, there's not a lot of great loot. But pertinent to this video, you can actually get this issue of Grognak by completing the Speak to the School Children quest in Vault 81, where you tell a bunch of the kids about life outside the vault. As far as I know, it's the only magazine you can get from more than one source in the game, so you don't even have to come down here to get it. However, if you do, work your way to the Overseer's office and I'll show you where it is.
Look at your face. One more tomorrow to see heaven in your eyes. To have your hand cling to mine.
Excellent.
And wander through paradise.
Issue number 6 is titled Intermala, the War Maiden of Mars. It's found in Boston Commons on the north side, near the Park Street station entrance. I would stay on the fringes of the Commons, unless you want to aggro Swan, a super mutant behemoth in the pond, and when you first get here, you probably don't. Run in, grab the mag, and get out. Oh, and, mind the rads.
There we go.
Grognak number 7 is titled Fatherless Cur, which is an insult we all ought to be using, and it is found on the Mass Pike Interchange on the west end of the map. Now this one is a bitch. It is actually, in my opinion, the hardest of the Grognak magazines to get. The interchange up here is full of gunners with high-level weapons. There's at least one assaultron and some turrets. Once you clear them out, it's easy to find. It's in the lead gunner's shack, but come loaded for bear because you're in for a fight.
There we go.
Issue number 8 is titled Lost in the Snows of Lust, and it's found on the top floor of Backstreet Apparel, which is in north central downtown Boston, facing the river. There's a fair number of raiders in here. Also mind the tripwire traps on the floor and a couple of turrets, but you should be fine. It should be no issue. No pun intended.
Excellent.
Grognak number 9 is found at Hyde Park, which is way on the south side of the map. This area is partially flooded. I started on a dry spot to the south, on the south side of the buildings, and trying to show you the best way up. This is titled In the Lair of the Virgin Eater, which isn't as hot as it might sound. There are a lot of raiders throughout these buildings, and some of them are hard to spot, enough so that I missed a couple here on my first sweep through the area. So you might have to fight a few, even if you think the area is clear. However, just follow the path I'm laying out and work your way up to the top, and I'll lead you right to the magazine.
Yes.
The 10th and last issue of Grognak is found at the Museum of Witchcraft in the northeastern part of the map. It's titled What Sorcery This? Spoiler alert for the related quest here. If you don't want to hear it, jump ahead. Going ahead and spoil in 3, 2, 1. I'm going to show the magazine's location from coming in through the entrance after you killed the Deathclaw, because the other way is just silly. If you haven't, you'll have to go in through the basement and clear the place out. Once you do, the magazine is on the first floor. It's very easy to find. The fight itself is not easy, but the magazine is.
There we go.
And there we have it. 10 issues of Grognak the Barbarian. Fallout 4's favorite hack and slash hero. Giving us those perks for extra critical damage with our melee and unarmed attacks. As always, I hope this has helped. I hope it's helped at least a few people find magazines they couldn't find. If you like this content, please consider leaving a like or even subscribing to the channel. I also love to hear your comments. Any feedback is appreciated. If you have a video you would like to see featured in Collections 101, please leave a comment to that effect below. I'm always looking for content for the channel and good games to play. In the meantime, I'm going to get back to playing and recording and trying to make a few videos. See you in the next one. You all stay gaming.